Now, Max, I know that I already brought this up to you earlier, but specifically with this Rogue Trader and this $2 billion. And a lot of times in the past, I've seen insiders manipulate things, and they'll blame something on a, quote, rogue trader. And I'm seeing a lot of different strategies right now to try to keep gold and silver down. Is that going to be successful?
Well, you see today, Alex, breaking news that HSBC was dropped as a defendant in the case charging silver manipulation, HSBC and JP Morgan. HSBC is no longer a defendant in the lawsuit who claimed that HSBC and JP Morgan were manipulating the silver futures market. This, of course, is a case that everyone was very excited about 6 months ago because it looked like the bank, HSBC, was going to face some justice here. But our old friend Bart Chilton, who's one of the commissioners at the CFTC, Commodity Futures Trading Commission, who I know, I can tell you, with absolute certainty that he was caught red-handed in the box office futures scandal with Cantor Fitzgerald's Cantor Exchange, basically kowtowing to the industry and completely not fulfilling his role as a regulator. So he's a dirty regulator, Bart Chilton. He's a guy who is a regulator for hire. He obviously, somebody got to him in whatever the usual methods. So HSBC has been dropped. So the war between paper and metal continues. Obviously, if Europe is going to try to introduce a euro bond and re-securitize and repackage a few trillion in toxic, worthless debt and roll it into some new euro product, then people are excited that paper will triumph. But of course, this only happens if interest rates are zero, and that only means that purchasing power collapses, so that people's purchasing power is collapsing. The poverty rates in America and around the world are skyrocketing. This is not.
No, the United States is now in greater debt than it was even in the depths of depression. We passed that Rubicon 3 years ago. We have the poorest population ever. There hasn't been an overall wage increase since 1996. That came out this week, and that's with cooked government numbers. The insiders have all the advantage. And now they're coming in with all these new taxes, not to fund getting out of debt, but to further extinguish the economy, to consolidate it. Where does it end, though? How far can these people push? Because they've been so good at it, it's already causing revolution worldwide. And then even those revolutions get out of hand.
Well, that's the thing there. They are making it a revolution. The only course of action, really, and we see this, is the global insurrection against banker occupation, which we talked about 5 years ago, is getting more pronounced every single month. You know, Jamie Dimon, who's the CEO of JP Morgan, he was made the comment last week when he's asked to participate in what are called the Basel III Accords to raise the minimum capital requirements for banks. He said that asking JP Morgan to raise the capital requirement in that bank is anti-American and attacking America. Meanwhile, Jamie Dimon has they're the ones, JP Morgan, who run the food stamp program. They're the one who actually create the swipe cards that people go and...
No. They always wrap themselves in the American flag while they're destroying it. It's like the head of General Electric moving all the jobs that they're creating to China while lecturing everyone about our carbon footprint. I mean, it's just incredible.
Well, like I said, there's a lot of good things happening in Tunisia if this party that I'm supporting wins this next election. And I'm going to be lobbying for people in America to leave America and to move to Tunisia, because we're going to rebuild a country with some real values and basically emigrate from that cesspit of poverty and kleptocracy, the United States of scumbags. So we've got to move on. We got to find a place where people who want freedom and democracy can live. It's not the United States. Trust me, that's the last place in the world now you're going to find any kind of decency.
But everything's okay. Michelle Obama is pledging that restaurants are promising to follow a new White House food menu for children while they sell the GMO and all the garbage at us at 100 miles an hour. Don't worry, the government now is going to decide what we eat. So Michelle Obama is going to keep us safe, and that's really what matters, Max.
Look, there's the famous parody of a population like the one in the United States being subjected to a kleptocracy and a corpocracy, being forced to eat their own feces. And this is what Michelle Obama is really talking about. She believes that the best food Americans could eat is their own feces. And if she can make a nickel doing it, then that's what she's all about. She'll happily take that money.
Well, she's always got a grin on her face like she's been doing that, but...
Oh, yeah. You know, I mean, the people running for office, including your buddy, Rick Perry down there in Texas, these folks are beyond the Manchurian Candidate.
All right, stay there. Let's do it. Let's do a few calls. Max. By the way, there's going to be some tweaking at prisonplanet.tv as we add more streams, different downloads. One of the companies we use for the mainstream at night has been unavailable in certain areas of Texas, but everywhere else in the world. And we were unable to get that company to fix it, so we fired up 2 more streaming companies. They're working great. We're going to be adding more and more redundancy, more and more options to prisonplanet.tv for you. But we've just gotten lifted off, and I appreciate everybody's support. We couldn't be doing this without you. Tonight, Wayne Madsen, left the U.S. for a few months because he was told the White House was looking at killing him for a lot of different reasons. Wayne Madsen's gotten back from Japan. He went to Fukushima. He's also, of course, been to Libya. And he's been in the Middle East and all over the place, globe-trotting. So he'll be joining us on InfoWars Nightly News this evening. And then we also have Mark Moreno of Climate Depot, who will be exposing the great fall and collapse and now floundering of the great inventor of the Internet, the man who also created the planet Earth, man, bear, pig. Half man, half bear, half pig. Man, bear, pig. So we're going to be looking at that tonight and more. InfoWars Nightly News. And then tomorrow is one of my children's birthdays, so I'm going to be off the radio tomorrow. I say, what do you want for your birthday? I want you to not go to work. I want you to go swimming with me, and I want to go fishing. Okay, well, believe me, I want to do that too, but you have no future if we don't do this. Believe me. Believe me. Believe me. That's why I'm so out of control. I hate it. I kind of like being on the radio, but when you do 2 things a day and do radio interviews constantly, it starts to... I love filet mignon, but I think if I was forced to eat it 3 times a day and eat, 50 ounces of it a day, I'd start hating it. I don't know. Filet mignon's pretty good, but... You get my drift, ladies and gentlemen, but the Nightly News is a focused, condensed, hard-hitting transmission, and we'll see tonight, 7 o'clock. You want to get behind real alternative media and vote with your dollars? We're not like the government that comes and takes your money. We're here asking you to join and to spread the word about it. PrisonPlanet.tv growing into something really big. We plan to build this into a network, but we need your support to do it. Where were you when the revolution in media began? Al Gore's trying it. Becky Pooh's trying it. They know where the future is, but their info is globalist controlled. We are not. Now, we're going to go back to Max and take a few phone calls, and I've got to get to 1984 because I've promised to do it. But I also want to tell you about our Twitter account. It's Real Alex Jones. We've got links to it at Infowars.com. And MaxKeiser.com is, of course, Max's website. Max, what's your Twitter account? Because I heard Stacey Herbert, your other twin broadcaster with you. Also, I'm told you're Squeeze. She's really the boss over there, and I heard her Twitter's getting bigger than yours. And by the way, why won't Stacey come on my show?
Yeah, Stacey's Twitter's getting bigger than mine, and it's getting almost embarrassing because you hate to have...
Well, she's a girl, and you can't have her having a bigger Twitter. Yeah,
her Twitter's getting huge. And I want my Twitter to be bigger than Stacey's Twitter. Now, the reason she won't come on your show, Alex, she's because she fears really that she hates to see grown men cry. And if you put her up against Lord Monckton on that man-made global warming debate, the good old Lord Monckton would break down in tears and have to concede all of his points and run away back to his...
Okay, fine. Lordship. I will set up a debate between Lord Monckton and Stacey. My dear lady. He would... No. I know you're just always saying, get Stacey on it. No, she'll come on. I know she'll come on. I understand.
Yeah, someday, when, who knows when the moment is right, then the whirlwind, that is Stacey Herbert, will appear in your midst. and all hell will break loose.
All right, that's enough screwing around, Keiser. I appreciate it. Let's just go ahead and talk to Scott in Pennsylvania. Scott, thanks for holding her on the air.
Hey, how you doing, guys? Great show today, Alex. You really articulate what we're facing, and it's very hard. And you're right. You probably can't really tell us exactly how bad it is because it is that difficult to understand. I was going to earlier. You talked about Albert Pike, and I'd love to see a special report if you're able to get time to do something like that.
No, that's a great idea. In fact, I already had an idea to do a thing on the globalist Illuminati philosophy for the news show. For the TV show. So, yeah, we'll do an Albert Pike for you.
Oh, I appreciate that. And the quote that comes to mind is a guy named Mario Salvo, I think, and he said, there comes a time when the system becomes so odious you have to basically put your body against the levers and gears and say you're not going to participate anymore. And maybe one day we'll have had enough and we'll just stop participating. I think
well, that's what it's all about. They package getting us to participate in their system like be reasonable, be good, and they use psychology. It's time to just stop participating. And it's time to get angry, and it's time to get in their face. And it's time to start shouting them down, and we're going to defeat these people. Do you have any questions for Lord Keiser?
You know, I love Max Keiser's work. I wish I was smart enough to really ask him a question. I just think
you're smart enough? That's ridiculous. You had a great quote. You're smart enough to know that, you know, Max actually got to start in media. And back when they had those old McDonald's commercials where they used real actors, he played the Hamburglar in one of those when you were a teenager. Max, I've just revealed that you were the Hamburglar.
Yes, I was I was on an acid trip, and I woke up in a Hamburglar costume in the middle of a shoot for McDonald's. And I'm telling you, I left with trauma.
Oh, man, Max, I got to go see you in France sometime. You're so funny. I could say the most ridiculous thing and know he's going to come back. He's not really the Hamburglar actor.
Well, you know, you can come to France, but, you know, when Rumsfeld tried to get him to Paris last year, he was almost arrested because there's a warrant out for his arrest, you know, for war crimes and crimes against humanity. He had to literally hightail it to the airport with a posse. I
wonder if they're going to arrest Sarkozy for war crimes, though.
Well, you know, Sarkozy and Chirac and the whole French political establishment's pretty corrupt as well. Different countries, different style of corruption, but, you know, they're all connected, as you know.